Hi there, good morning. Welcome to Sunnyside Journals. Welcome to another installment of Tis the Season. Tis the season to get Mrs. Cratchit's journal wrapped up. Thanks for joining me yesterday. If you were there for my live stream where I worked on, hold on, I'm grabbing it. I worked on the cover because we put a lot of metal work onto the cover. Hold on, I'm grabbing it over here. And there it is. Now, this still will be going on, but it's going to go on after we do some work today. That's a really sweet little key that looks like it's in, there we go. Looks like a key in a lock. How cool is that? I am so excited to be using this piece. I found it last summer when Nancy came to visit one day. Nancy from Wishes and Wheats came to visit. We went up to my little Kirby Church book sale. Then we went down to a little town called Orono in Ontario. And we had some lunch and we went through a big antique place and a little antique place. And I found this in the little antique place. And I think it was probably off of a sideboard, like a dining room sideboard. That's what I think. I just love it. And I've been waiting for the right journal because it needed to be a big journal. And here we go, right? So we got that done yesterday. I did do a little bit further work after the camera was off because we had opted to put wires in to also help hold that. It's a big metal piece. It's not that heavy, but it's still bulky and unwieldy. Unwieldy? You know what I mean. Anyhow, there were two more holes in it, and I decided, after I turned the camera off, I decided, you know what, the holes are there, let's use them, let's just give it as much support as we can, and then ultimately that screw bolt is going to hold it in place, and it's going to be fine. And then I've used contractor's masking tape. This is the kind of masking tape that if you don't peel it off in 3 days, it becomes permanent. Well, I've got to say, I am impressed by it. In order to put in the new holes, I had already taped these down, and so I had to peel them off. They were holding really great. I'm very, very happy with the how well they were attached. You can see where it pulled up a bit of the paper. They were that strong. So now what I need to do is I need to put this end paper in place now. I finally can go ahead and do that. This was all hinging on, well, first of all, this hinge, and it was hinging on, I needed to be able to put a hole in the right place where this hole is going to go today. So I had to have that in place. Now I used cheesecloth to create this hinge for where the folio will go underneath. This folio that we made, its tuck spot is going to be right there. And then these are going to tie it down like that. Oh, I'm really, really happy with how that is, so that it's got a nice little home right in there. So we've got to do that today. And of course I thought, let's turn on the camera and play with this a bit. Now I want another little flip out here. If you remember, this might have been one of the very first things I made that I knew I wanted to put into this lap book. Is this, it's an envelope from an insurance file folder that I found thrifting one day. And it didn't look that nasty. Thank goodness for distress ink. I've always said it's probably my favorite tool. It looked like that before, and it looks like that now. Do you see what you can do with distress ink? So nice. And I even distressed on the inside because I wasn't sure at the time how I was going to incorporate it. So I took the time. It got distressed in and out. So that's what it looked like before. Someday I'm going to find a way, something to use this in. I do like it. Anyhow, so I do want, so it turns out this will be covered up because I'm going to glue it on right here in there. So it will fold over, folio will go in, this will fold over, ties will hold it in place. And then of course, I'm hoping for the rest of this week that once I get everything into place, that I'm just going to have fun collaging and putting on old Victorian things that maybe Mrs. Cratchit saved and glued in, just like a little memory scrapbook. So in the meantime, let's move our big book out of the way. And I have, in case you're wondering, I have constantly been putting it back together again, and fingers crossed it does hold everything in place. I guess we'll see. That's what it's all about, isn't it? But I have been placing things, closing it up, checking it. And so hopefully it all works out the way I planned. So I am going to glue this in place like this because I want it to lay flat. So I want to glue it while it's, let me show you. I'm worried that if I glue it wide open like this, then when I tried to flip it closed, the hinge might not be so free to flip-flop. I want it here. Not sure why. I can't explain why. I always say the heart wants what it wants. I don't want it dead center. I don't want it up there. But I do want just a little bit of space down here. Again, not sure why. So that's where I want it. So I'm going to go in with my favorite paper to paper glue, which is our glitter glue. So I'm going to, I haven't used it yet today. Well, I've got to say to everyone who joined me yesterday, first of all, thank you. I sure enjoy seeing a live, hi, how are you, in the chat screen. It is a little tricky doing a live stream because I really wish I could hear your voices. You can hear mine. I can't hear yours, so it's very much a one-sided conversation unless I take my eye off what I'm working on and take a moment to read over in the chat column, which I do try to do. Anyhow, I really, did I say really enough? Appreciated all the input on how to go about securing that metal piece onto the front cover. Really means a lot to me, and it's very helpful. And then of course just your positive energy in pulling that off, especially because something like that, if there's an error, it could ruin the whole front of the cover that I've been working on all these weeks. Could just all be for naught. So there we go. Let's hope I didn't. Did I put it on the right way? Edit. Okay. Yes. Love it. I'm hoping maybe, and I'm not going to do it yet, I've got that dancing lady. I'm so excited to use her. Where is she? Where's my little dancing lady? There she is. I'm going to play with her the way I played with that Victorian belle. I'm actually going to put some lace on her there. I might put some bows. She's got bows on her shoulders there, so I may actually put some little bows on her shoulders. And yeah, I love her. So she's going there. All right, so now you know what I'm thinking? I was going to just glue this into the book. Now let's take a look at it. just because I find inspiration when I can see the whole thing together. So this will be like this. That will be out. That will be out. And this will rest just in there like that. Yeah, that's a good width. You know what? I should show you the other end paper in case you didn't see the live stream yesterday, because I did get the other side of the end paper done, and this is it. Here's the little 1879 book. So this is going to go like this on this side, like that. I'm really pleased with the amount of what's the word I want to use? Accidental Christmas colors. That's the word I want to use. These weren't necessarily Christmassy things. Like this fabric is not Christmassy fabric. Neither is this over here. But because it's colors that we certainly associate with Christmas, the red and the green, it all comes together to look Christmassy. That makes me really happy. So this is what it will look like. I still haven't decided what I'm going to do in here. I want to get it all together, make sure it closes comfortably and easily. This comes out, hold on, I'll show you that too, in case you weren't here yesterday. Here, let me move this down a bit. Sorry I have to be so far away. This is the biggest book I've ever worked on. So this is our little book from 1879, and it fits. I put in sort of a flap loop here with some antique or vintage, at least, brads. These are really old. They're the real deal, those ones. Under there, and it just slides in under and becomes a nice little storage spot for our little 1879 book. But I think now that I'm looking at it, I don't see any reason why I have to put the end papers on yet. I think I can go ahead and start decorating and doing my collaging, and then finally glue the end papers on. So that's what we're going to do. I have a few, oh, let me put this back so I can show you. I have a few things that I know I want to incorporate. This is a scan and then made into a journaling card. This was actually tucked inside my great-grandmother's Bible. So I have, I want to put one of those in. And I've already made my Two Nanas bookmark, and there's the Two Nanas. I have to finish aging this side of it. I didn't age this side of it yet. So I'll put this aside. We can do that next. That needs to be aged. I was thinking I want to incorporate this handsome looking gentleman here. He doesn't look too thin and skeletal, so maybe he's her beloved Bob Cratchit, after he's had a few years of some good healthy food that, you know, when they could finally start affording things. I want to back this onto something. I really like her. Isn't she pretty? So there's a few things I want to work on in order to decorate. And like I said, especially the little ballerina lady, I want to make her, I want to Victorianize her. Where is she? See, I've put her away. She's probably in plain sight. I wonder if I tucked her in there. I'm going to pause and find her. Hold on. Okay, found her. Now, I want some paper. Let's find some paper just to ink on. Oh. So, I found some little delicate laces. I thought, no, see, I think that's too white. to play with on her. But let's get the two Nanas distressed a bit more. I'm going to use that vintage photo. Where is... No, that's linen. Sorry, I'm looking for a brush up here. That'll work. Oh, I need antique linen. And I need that. I want to yellow the interior a bit. The Nanas look a little too white. The paper is not, I don't want it that white. Yeah, that's better. I know I mention it every time, just in case. I find there's a little bit of a film. It does dry, but I want it dried faster, and I don't want the extra on there, so I tend to wipe the antique linen off. And then we're just going to go in from the inside edges with some vintage photo and make this look a little bit more loved. I was showing on Instagram a couple days ago my mother's orchid blossomed. I call him Spike. His name's Spike. Because when you're going to get a flower on an orchid, it's not a very clever name if you know orchids, because I had to look into it. I don't know how to grow. I kill plants. And apparently when they send up a shoot that will become all the trail of flowers on an orchid, the shoot that comes up is called a spike. So I kept saying, come on, are you going to give me a spike? And before I knew it, his name was Spike. So not that clever. There, they look better. And then that's a scanned bookmark from out of my great-grandmother's Bible. So these are all old. My great-grandmother's Bible. I'm sort of taking a little inspiration for my Mrs. Cratchit's journal, because my great-grandmother's Bible over the years had many owners, because it got passed down and passed down and passed down. First from aunt to adopted a niece who became her daughter. I'm taking a little more off this edge from where I fussy cut it. My great-grandmother, her mother died, and her aunt raised her. So I found in her aunt's writing and in her writing later in life that they often referred to each other as mother and daughter, and rightly so. She very much stepped in, and as anyone would want, have a loved one raise your child if you can't be the one who does it. So Annie's mother, who was Margaret Mackay, passed away, and her sister Catherine, spelled the way my Catherine is spelled, Catherine finished raising Annie. There we go. I often wonder if I got named after Catherine. Or I think it was a combination, because my mother's best friend was a girl named Katie Hummel. And I often wonder if it was just sort of a coincidence that two of her favorite people had the name Catherine, because Katie's name was Catherine as well. So she was able to perhaps Perhaps that's where it came from. It's one of those questions I wished I'd asked her. All she ever said, the few times that I did ask her, how did you come up with Catherine? Especially after 3 boys. You know, she had boy, boy, boy. You think she might have given up on trying to come up with a girl's name after that many boys, but then she got her girl by accident. No, surprise. That's a better way to put it. And she often said that it was a toss-up, that she loved the name Catherine and that she loved the name Martha. So I could have been a Martha. I don't feel like a Martha, so I think she was quite correct in her choice of Catherine. I feel like a Catherine. I certainly had that happen with one of my daughters. One of my daughters has the middle name May, which I love the name May. It was my favorite aunt's middle name. My dad's sister, her middle name was May. And also my daughter's great grandmother, her middle name was May. So she got named after 2 very beloved Mays in our family. It's nice when you can get a two for one. So I wonder if I was a 2 for 1. Now, this is still background in here, and I want to take it out. So I'm just coming in there with my X-Acto. I like when a bit of the background peeks through on a fussy cut when you have these little windows. Come on. No, I lifted it. So for those who are going to be celebrating this week, are you ready? I hope so. I hope it's not too stressful for you. It shouldn't be stressful. Bothers me that commercialism has made it stressful for so many families, because it should just be fun. Victorians initially, when they started exchanging gifts, pardon me, it was little gifts, tiny little gifts, and it was just for children. It was mostly children who got little gifts. It wasn't adults exchanging with each other, or, you know, parents to each other, or all the stress that we all go out when, you know, you hear people going, oh, I got 28 people to buy for. Well, you know, when the Victorians started this, in a way, they did have some things right, I think. Little small children got a tiny little gift, usually. That's at least the way it started. So at some point, it started getting out of hand. And that's why even in that old song, I'll be home for Christmas, you know that one, where it says, and presents on the tree, because the presents were small enough to tuck into the branches of the tree. And that's where we get that. The presents were that tiny. And quite often the stockings were filled with little treats to eat. Nowadays, it seems like it's Apple Watches and stuff like that. It used to be, it was walnuts. You always had to have an orange in the toe of your stocking, right? At least I always liked getting an orange in the toe of my stocking. And when I was a child, in our stockings, we always had nuts at Christmas, but they were still in the shell. And some of my happy memories are sitting with members of my family, and just sitting and talking and cracking open nuts and just nibbling on the little pieces of nut. I want to take this casing off. I have happy memories of that. Just little walnuts and pecans, Brazil nuts. Oh, I love Brazil nuts. And cracking them open and just sitting around and talking while you I don't know if this is going to come off. I really wanted to use this. I wonder if I just cut that off. And that'll also make it look kind of rough. Let's try it. What does it hurt, right? I'm going to try and do a little pinch gather with glue and let it dry so that we still have a little bit of a ruffle. And then maybe I'll stitch it with the sewing machine. Is that enough? Maybe a bit more. Yeah, so I almost would be happy to go back to the times where children got little gifts. And the adults, their gift was the joy of watching the children open the little gifts. All right, so I'm going to run this along here. So this is just 3-in-1. Oh, I've got cobwebs. There we go. So I'm just going to do a little bit of pinching to gather that. It's happy to do it because it was previously gathered on that lacy trim. I'm hoping to have this ledger done this week, but if I'm not, that's okay. Christmas still goes on that week in between the 25th and the new year, right? They'll give us something to do together, I think. I'm not too worried. There's no big rush, and I really am enjoying it. Oh, I'm gluing it right to the paper. Yikes. Let go. Thank you. I want to move it up a little bit. I wonder if it'll let me or if it's already started to dry. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Sorry if my hand is in the way. There we go. All right. Oh, cute. What do you think? Oh, I got a bit of glue there. There we go. All right, now I'm wondering if, let me find my ribbons. I have a bag of ribbons here somewhere. Oh, here we go. All right, because she's got a red ribbon holding this bouquet of roses. Let me see if I can bring this down a little bit. Now, hopefully that doesn't play with the focus. If you see right here, she's got a red ribbon holding her bouquet. So I think I might try and put a ribbon on there. Just a little one. Let's see. I've got some of this. I want it to be flat. I don't want it too bulky. But I think I've got a little room. No way. Let me check. Oh my goodness. Where does the time go? I want to wear that off. I want that to look. All right, now. I think I'm going to glue all this together with some 3-in-1. And then I'm going to hold it till it dries. How am I? Let's run this clock out, shall we? I've got 30. I usually find I can do 31 minutes. So let's see. So you can at least get a look at what I think I want. Sorry. Come on, you. Out, out, out. If not, I'll try again. Oh, come on. That's what I was thinking. And then I think I might use some thread to pinch it together like that. Uh-oh, what time is it now? Oh, rats, 30 minutes. Well, thanks for joining me today. Here, let me put it in place so you can see what I'm thinking. And I'll, as ever, see? Here, I'll hold it with this so I can get my hand out of the way. That's what I envision. Woohoo! Thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can take time to relax. Put your feet up, maybe have a nice hot beverage. Take a moment for yourself. I'm going to do that, actually, right now. Take care. Bye.